Okay, well, good day, Goslings. I'm honored to host this fireside chat with three of our Goslings from around the globe. I'm going to pass it over to them to introduce themselves.
Good morning. Hello, hello. My name is Paulo. I'm a facilitator from the Costa Rica branch.
Amazing. Thank you, Paulo. And next we have, on the screen it shows Liliana, but she's also known as Lily. So Lily, over to you.
Hello, my name is Liliana, also known as Lily. I'm the branch coordinator for the Costa Rica branch.
And last but definitely not least, we have Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna from the Glasgow branch. I'm the query specialist.
Thank you. So today's topic of our fireside chat is we're going to talk with these folks around sign language and the importance of it and how they came to learn about sign language. So I want to start off by asking, do you have a name sign and can we demonstrate that? Paulo, first.
Okay, so thank you. Yes, of course. I actually have a name sign. So it is like this, right? You put it like here and you use like two little waves, right? The only way of explaining it will be, well, I always have like my hair dyed and like, I don't know, my hair is one of my always notable features, I would say. And this is for the letter F for fabulous.
Fabulous. I mean, It's a perfect definition of it.
It's like self-explanatory. So yeah.
There you go. Great, thank you. Lily, what about you?
Yes, I also have one. So first of all, when I introduce myself, also that my name is Lili, and then I will do my sign. That my sign is this one because I have a little dot right here. So it's one of my, let's say, important features of my face. So that's why the L right here.
Excellent, love it, thank you. And Jenna, what about yourself?
I don't have a sign name, but I will spell out my name for you guys. So in VSL, start with the J and then ENNA.
And you call that VSL?
Oh, BSL, sorry, British
BSL.
Sign Language.
Okay, great, thank you. So I'm gonna, there's a couple of other questions that we have from the group that I'd like to just have a roundtable discussion. But what sign language do you use? And can you tell us a little bit more about it? So Jenna, I'll start with you.
Okay, well, for those who don't know, I'm born deaf, hard of hearing, both ears. Though it wasn't really discovered until I was about 5. They figured I had a learning disorder, my mom did, but then we found out it was a hearing thing. So my mom, when she was younger, she had a deaf friend, so she actually knew a bit of ASL. So as I was growing up, I learned the alphabet and a couple of signs here and there in ASL. When I came over to Scotland, I took one class in BSL, and hopefully one day I would like to take more. ASL being American Sign Language, but very specifically a Canadian version of it is what I knew, and BSL being British Sign Language.
Great, thank you. Lily, what about you?
In my case, I learned Lesco, which is the Costa Rican Sign Language. This one is the sign for it, Lesco. And I learned this language because when I was in college, I was tutoring some people, and 2 of them were deaf. So I had to start learning a little bit of sign language to try to explain to them different concepts in English, which was a bit of a challenge because the class was in English, and then they had an interpreter, and I had to speak with them, and then the interpreter had to do like all this translation kind of thing. It was from English to Spanish and from Spanish to Lesco. So it was a bit of a challenge, but I thought if I was going to be tutoring someone, I would like to know the language that they speak. So I decided to learn Lesco. And at first they started teaching me a little bit about it, and then I took some classes that my university at the time offered.
Thank you. And Paulo, yourself?
So same as Lily, the one that I speak is Lesco, Lesco. The sign will be like this. And I literally just bumped into it. Like I didn't really ever paid attention to it until I'm a very fan of series, so I bumped into a TV series that actually like half of the cast was deaf actors playing like a story of like it's a whole mess. It's called Switch at Birth, just in case. And after that, I really liked it. I can literally tell you that I just saw a post on Instagram of like this company offering the classes, and I was just like, let's go for it. And then while I was learning, I really learned like the importance of it. Like I would not stand having like seeing someone in need and like, now okay, I have this new ability that maybe I could use it to help someone. But yeah, it was really good that I really like got to bump into it and got to be involved.
Thank you for sharing that. What are some of the common misconceptions about sign language that we kind of wish that we could erase?
I will say the first one is that it's not an international language. So as you saw just right here, like Paulo and I, we speak Lesco, and then Jenna is ASL and BSL. So it's a bit of a difference, and also some of the signs are also different. So that's a really common misconception. For example, yesterday we were trying to like just mention some of the signs that we have here. Like for example, for Lesco to say hi, you do this, and Jenna was telling us that an ASL is like that exactly. So it's just certain things that vary within the languages, and even it's not because she speaks, let's say, English, that it will be the ASL BSL, and because we speak Spanish, it's just because within different countries some of the signs vary. There are certain things that are really similar, such as the alphabet, but still in some cases, for example, the alphabet that Jenna was showing us when she was spelling her name, that one, I don't know that one. Like we spell in totally different ways.
I would also like to bring up that lip reading is not actually easy. It's actually really difficult, and not all deaf people or hard of hearing people know how to lip read. Only a third of the English language is accurately read via lip reading. And so assuming that deaf people or hard of hearing people can lip read is actually very inconsiderate, because it's a very difficult skill to have. That being said, seeing lips does help us to understand what's being said. Just don't make it so that you think that we'll just automatically understand if you stand real close to us and mouth real wide.
That's a great point. Paulo, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, of course. I would just like to add that another misconception is like the volume of your voice when you're trying to communicate with deaf people or people with any problem with hearing, because I mean it can vary. Like there's many percentages of hearing and like many differences. So not for everyone you can just stand close, look at them like and try to shout. It could work to some of them, but actually it's not always the case, right? So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that as well.
So that's we're going to go a little bit off script of our questions, but I think what has been your biggest learning between learning or knowing ASL and BSL? What are the main differences that you want to highlight?
The main difference is the alphabet. Like with ASL, I can do it with one hand without looking, but with BSL, I'm like, 2 hands, why? It's so inconvenient. A lot of the signs, well, there's overlap. Some of them are the same, like thank you is the same and whatnot. There might be a few signs that are a little bit different. They make sense. Like, to be honest, so far the alphabet is the biggest difference, because a lot of the other things, they fall in the same vein, even if it's not the same sign.
I'm going to shift a little bit to talk about kind of the pre-pandemic and now. So what adjustments did we have to make or you make between pre-pandemic and now, and how did we cope with everything going digital?
Well, for myself, it was actually quite beneficial, because when I was in the office, if I had a question, I'd have to get up and go speak to the team leader. And in a noisy office, it can be very hard to hear them. I also have some team leaders who are just naturally very quiet voiced. And so I have to like lean in real close and be like, what? Which is not really great for me. I'm just trying to get an answer. So when we switched to working at home and we use this program called Slack, which is just typing most of the time, that was really great for me, because now suddenly I could ask my questions a lot easier. I could get my answers a lot easier. I could help other people a lot easier. So I have been benefiting from it quite a bit.
Lily, Paulo, anything else that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think like on the training perspective, the feature of having like the captions on, I would say was the only thing that we really talked about it, like to be prepared just in case.
I would say the transition to doing everything like in video, it helps a lot, because also as the guys were saying, it's easier if you're typing something, and so everyone can understand. Because at times, if it's like, let's say in the middle of the production floor, and everyone is in a different call, it's all that background noise, and if you're trying to ask any type of question, I think it's easier if you can just like raise your hand, like as you do in Zoom or Microsoft Teams. That could be really beneficial.
So as we look to wrap up this fireside chat, I think it's really important. I'm really excited on what our diversity, equity, and inclusion committee is doing, but also the direction that the organization is going for inclusivity and being diverse. So how do we build an inclusive community for hearing impaired people or deaf people?
Well, I think that even just learning a couple of signs here and there, including the alphabet, could be really helpful. So if someone misses something, they can sign it or type it, and then we can catch it. It's also even useful for hearing people. Like if you're in a noisy environment like a bar and you want to sign your drink to the person across the room, you can.
I love it.
And also just listening to the hearing impaired or deaf person about their hearing disability and how it works, because like Paulo said, it's different for everyone. Like, yes, loudness can be a part of it, but also pitch, tone, clarity, audio processing, because not all deafness is just being unable to hear. Sometimes it's a processing disorder in your brain. So yeah, just kind of listen to what we say, or type, or sign.
Those are great points. Lily, Paulo, anything you'd like to add?
I think that related to what Jenna mentioned, learning some signs will be really good. I have some friends that already have children, and something that they try to implement is just teaching them some signs. And because kids are like little sponges, so they learn everything faster, and let's say it's a whole learning experience. Even like as Jenna mentioned, learning the alphabet. If you meet someone in a school that has a hearing impediment, I think that will be really good for someone to connect, and also to keep learning if they are interested in.
Thank you. Paulo?
Yeah, basically just to like highlight or continue what you were both saying, I think there's only good things on actually learning about the community, learning about the topic itself, and also learning the language, right? I've always said like that's something that they should implement like in schools since we have them, like, because Lily said they're sponges. So yes, I do see the importance on teaching like a second language since they're like growing up, but like there's a lot of like the deaf community is definitely bigger than we expect, bigger than we know. So it should be all right, actually, for everyone to be able to communicate freely, right? And like on our side, like as Jenna was mentioning, of course, like it's actually, even to hearing people, it's helpful. Because, for example, yesterday that we were prepping right after the meeting, I talked to an agent that I have right here beside me, and he was literally telling me just like, can you please teach me this, teach me something? So I started like with colors and like the alphabet and stuff. So it's really, really important to maybe try to understand or to learn about the community and try to spread it a little bit.
So besides the questions, what are some of the signs that we could potentially teach our Goslings that we'd like to, and teach me? I'm interested in learning. So let's go around the room. Jenna, I want to start with you. Are there some signs that you'd like to teach our Goslings?
Yeah, I'll do a few simple ones and then a funny one. So some of them are really, really easy, because like sign language is not meant to be a code. It's a language. We want to communicate with each other. So like when I say hi, it's literally just this, hi. Oh, also facial expression is very important in sign language. If you're going like this, they're gonna be like, oh, what's the problem? They're upset with me? But yeah, hi, and also bye. That one's pretty easy. For both ASL and BSL, thank you. For BSL, you're welcome. For one funny one, I'll show you the proper way of doing Glasgow in BSL, which is the letter G and the letter W. But there's a slang way, it's perhaps a bit rude, which is a G and then a punch. Because Glasgow used to have a very aggressive reputation. So I thought that might be perhaps fun to learn.
I like it. Great, thank you. Lily, what about you?
Just as Jenna was mentioning, thank you. It will be in the same way, thank you. We can also say this actually is an international sign that is just for like love, which is this one. So you just do it like this. And one of my favorites, because I love it and it's so cute, is that I love turtles. So I learned how to say one, and this one is one that is swimming. And this one is one that is on earth, that is on the sand.
That's amazing. Thank you. Hello.
So a difference that we have is that we actually, like in Let's Go, we say hi like this to like tell it apart from the goodbye, right? So it's funny, right? I feel like a pirate or like a general. I don't know. It's funny. Then I don't know. We have like things that would be helpful for everyone to know. Like for example, good morning. So you do good, and then you do morning, right? Something funny that I always tell people, like, okay, some signs are very self-explanatory, but some others make no sense, to be honest, right? That happens in every single kind of language. There's some things that don't make sense. So for example, you got the sign for walking, which is basically just you walk, right? Simple, self-explanatory. But then you have running. Makes no sense. You do like this, you grab here, and then you just boop, 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 and that's running. So that's something that I always find really, really funny on that, like how some of them are just like, okay, I'll just learn that.
Well, to all of you, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you, sharing your experience and your knowledge, and we look forward to having more videos like this, maybe some training videos that we can start to teach our Goslings more about sign language. So thank you again, and have a wonderful day to all of you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.